So again, I have identified a flat out undeniable pattern and license plates that are exclusively Armenian people in the United States, in Burbank and Glendale specifically. Within that context, oh, and there's a Florida one over there too. That's funny because it was the only reason I added Florida to the states that I believed the fentanyl that's being manufactured in Burbank and Glendale goes to Florida is because of all the Armenians with Florida license plates. And that's the most reasonable justification. And if they, do you understand, Armenians are Armenians, so they would not only do it an illegal transportation of illicit materials from one place to another, pick up fentanyl here, take it to Florida, but they would probably line it up in a way that they would turn it into a tax write-off that they can actually file something for some business. So, but on that note, in that pattern, multiples of 7, there's not just 7, but multiples of 7 seems to be the most significant one. I think that 7 is kind of like a general, I don't know, it's kind of more like a, not general top, like basic, common type of management level, mid-management. We'll go with that, mid-management. Then you get into 8s, which are security. Then you get into 9, which I don't know what that could be. Maybe it's real estate or something like that. But when you get into the 1s, that's finance. But on that note, I just want to show. I've seen them before around here because there's a guy that I caught. And this person right here is meeting with my neighbor that lives. Hold on, let me go like this. I'm gonna pause it. Right there. So they got some kind of insurance fraud running out of that apartment right there. What they have it set up as like sort of under the premise that the best I could tell is I got a piece of the lady's mail for a business. Oh shit, I might as well show you. I never gave it to them because they're organized crime. If you want to come get me for this shit, come get me for this shit. I don't give a fuck. So this I got, and I never gave it to them. But it told me that these people that are supposed to be on welfare are running a business out of their thing. When they first moved in here, their son wasn't living in their house. They were trying to let him sleep in the garage. And I started videotaping him. He's a teenager. I started videotaping in the garage with the intention of reporting them to CPS, Child Protective Services, in a hope of getting them to, because Burbank, I can't do Burbank. I got to get outside of the Burbank. So if I could get the Child Protective Services, they can infiltrate the Burbank because the Burbank PD are part of this network, and there's no point in really doing this shit. And then cause some havoc, because at that point their son didn't have a room. It's a 2-bed. I mean, we live in the same apartment. I know what their apartment looks like. So so I got the thing. And now what I found out too, so there's a couple interesting things actually. So, let me just get that Florida, just for the good measure. No, can't get it. But so the 7 CPS, I don't know, but anyways, so they run the insurance fraud. So because they don't speak any English, none English. So I guarantee you, the bitch that lives over there, the fucking fat fucking mom who's a wannabe Kardashian. I gotta just say, growing up if I was a teenager, and my mom. In this day and age, and my mom was a wannabe Kardashian, chubby, fucking chubbed out wannabe Kardashian. That's not pretty. I mean, it's not revolting, but she ain't pretty. You know what? That would affect my perception of women. But I mean, Armenian culture as a whole probably doesn't have the greatest reputation amongst the variety of cultures out there for their status and treatment of women. But with that insurance, they also get welfare because it's all welfare. The guy beneath me gets welfare. They just moved in. It's a fucking welfare scam. They get welfare. Within that welfare, they're doing they're bypassing with this business. They're collecting welfare, and then today they all have cars. They all have 3 cars. But what I learned today about the son was his friend went to his car rather than him, and because in the complex next door, there's more Armenian guys that they do those this type of taxi service that's like this is all their scam. They use vehicles a lot. Okay, they got to do a lot of movement. And it's all criminal activity. If it's tax insurance, it's employment fraud, it's immigration fraud, all of this shit. They have 5% legitimacy in their shit. So there's these Armenian guys that live in the apartment complex, or it's a condos actually, that converted into apartments converted to condos. That sometimes they have like 4 or 5 parked on the little side street that's over there. But because there's not room, they're parked over here. And the way that they get their cars, because none of them own the cars, they're corporate cars under a corporation. They scan them with the VIN with some app. It opens up the car, and then they drive it away. Well, I saw the son doing that today, or the son's friend doing that today to get in his car, and he had to scan the VPN. I believe, the VPN number on the car several times, and he was trying to do it on the app and do it again. And I was like, holy shit. That guy's car is one, but which makes a lot of sense, because for them to maintain the welfare fraud, they can't have documentation of the kid driving a $50,000 Kia, maybe 40, the mom driving a $45,000 SUV, and the dad driving like a $45,000 or $50,000 Lincoln. Again, which they don't own. So just want to point out, when I say this is how close it gets, This is Burbank is not in Glendale. It's not part of the United States. It's not part of the United States. It is the way they say about the Afghanistan and Pakistan, the terrorist training hubs. If you understand that the Armenian faction of the Russian mob is a terrorist organization, you understand that Glendale and Burbank are exactly the same fucking shit that they talk about ISIS and all that. This is a terrorist training area, dead smack in the motherfucking center of Los Angeles, controlled by MAGA politics that are conducive to the organized crime psychology of the Armenian community, that launders their money primarily through their church.